Top 5 American classic cars worth buying. The Eldorado name spans 12 generations, with the very first one that came out all the way in 1953. However, I'll focus my attention on the 9th gen model that was produced between 1971 and 1978. This generation of the Eldorado saw the car get far boxier than its predecessor, with subsequent facelifts that saw the Eldorado evolve even more. It split away from the Fleetwood line in 1973. That same year, the Eldorado was also chosen as the official pace car of the Indianapolis. The 9th gen Eldorado was available both as a coupe and a convertible. While the cheapest ones are available for under $5,000, I'd urge you to spend a little more and get one that's in decent shape and has some sensible miles on it. Next, we're taking at one of America's most loved sports cars, the Corvette. The C3 in this case. The C3 Vette was made between 1968 and 1982. Designed by Larry Shinoda, the C3 had some big shoes to fill following the immensely successful C2. Several special edition C3s also saw the light of day, with the most recognizable ones being the Astravets, where GM leased 3 special edition Stingrays to Pete Conrad, Richard F. Gordon Jr., and Alan Bean, who were part of the Apollo 12 mission. You can find a few of these beauties for a bargain, available both as a coupe or a roadster. The C3 Vette came with a range of engines and gearboxes, to choose from a 5-liter LG4 V8 to a massive 7.4-liter LS6 V8. Transmissions include a coupe of 3/4-speed manuals or automatics. Now, the design of the C3 evolved over time, and there's a C3 for everyone. It truly depends on which era of C3 you like. We can't talk classic cars and not bring up Dodge now, can we? While the Charger would be the obvious choice, getting a decent example under $20,000 can prove to be a challenge. But thankfully, you've got cars like the Coronet, particularly the 5th gen model. Think the mid-1960s, which shares a lot with the Charger, a thoroughbred American muscle car. A Super B or an RT would be overkill, but even the standard car wasn't too bad. 5th gen Coronets came in a range of body styles, including a wagon, but the coupe is definitely the way to go. They were available with a range of engines, including the revered 426 Ci. They were quick back then, and they're just as quick today, which is why you often see them tearing up the drag strip with some super quick passes. You can easily get one for under $20,000 and go racing yourself. The sky is the limit really with the mods you can add, but the 426 is a good base to build upon. The Mustang is one of the most recognizable and celebrated names in the muscle car world. It is the longest running nameplate in the Ford lineup. Believe it or not, a classic Stang is not out of reach and can be had for within an affordable price range. While the 1964 Fastback is one of the most iconic shapes in automotive history, a 1965 to 1907 Coupe is definitely attainable, as there are a fair few that have survived given how successful the first gen Mustang was. Every facelift saw the Mustang receive a lot of visual changes and upgrades, and it got considerably bigger over the years. But the same can't be said about its powertrain. While the original lineup consisted of a modest 2.8 liter, the small block 289 Hypo V8 was an engine that was legendary. The top speed was rated at 124 miles per hour. Just like the Mustang, the CJ's influence on the world of off-roaders was immense. You'll be hard-pressed not to find a CJ5 for under $20,000. With its origins as an early combat vehicle to help with the American war effort in the 1940s, the CJ5 was essentially an evolution of that iconic shape. Believe it or not, the CJ5 was in production for the better part of 3 decades, and you'll be able to get your hands on a decent example from the 1970s. A CJ5 would be an inexpensive way to have fun out in the wilderness, and that's best down with the top down. The early 1970s also saw the introduction of more powerful engines, which along with the off-road hardware made them far more competent out on a trail. A 4 multiplication sign 4 with a V8 engine, it can't get any better than that. The 304 5.0 AMC transformed the modest CJ5 into a beast. It was mated to a 3-speed manual transmission along with a 2-speed transfer case. So we have shared with you top 5 American classic cars worth buying. Hope they will be useful to you. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.